I'm Shaun Reynolds.
And I'm Rachael Reynolds.
And welcome to What Was I Made For?
The podcast about doing what you love and prioritising your happiness.
While we aim to inspire, motivate and entertain you, please note that we're not licensed therapists or certified experts.
So if you're considering major life decisions like starting a travelling circus or quitting your job to become a professional beekeeper, maybe get a second opinion.
Enjoy the show.
See, I just do what I want, do what I love. I don't wanna stop, don't wanna grow up. Just me being me, don't follow the crowd. Don't be a sheep, look at me now. But now it's time to make more, create more. Looking at the points, cause it's time to take score. Feeling like I'm grown now that I can face more. Got one question, what was I made for?
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to What Was I Made For? Hope you're having a lovely week so far.
With me, Shaun Reynolds.
Oh, yeah, and with you. You all right?
And with you.
And with me, Rachael Reynolds. I was just seeing if you're all right. It's the first time we've probably seen each other today, which is strange. It is really a Sunday evening.
Sunday evening of a very, very, very busy weekend.
Very busy weekend. But we are here and we are bringing another fabulous episode to your ears, starting with our very boring drink of choice, which is, once again, a coffee.
A coffee in the What Was I Made For mug.
Yeah. And we had our first sale. Lovely Jodie. Whoop, whoop. Lovely
we had
Jodie.
First sale.
Has joined us,
and we got a lovely picture of her with her.
Yeah, it was
with her
so.
cup,
that was
cup of,
so. That really,
coffee.
really made me happy actually seeing that.
Yeah, it was well happy.
That's so nice.
Well happy.
So yeah, a lovely cappuccino, homemade cappuccino.
Yeah, mine's even more boring. Mine's a decaf.
Oh, is it? Oh, yes. Because what did you say to me when I went? I might have a coffee. You went, oh, I'd be up all night if I had one at this time.
If I have a coffee past, oh my god, if I have a coffee past 3 o'clock, I'll be up all night. If I have a coffee past 6 o'clock, I'll be up the following night.
I reckon I could have a coffee as a bedtime drink and still go to sleep.
Your dad has coffee at like midnight.
Yeah, I know. And I'd just be out of it. I'm such a good sleeper. That is one of my...
You are a talented sleeper.
Yeah, I am. Should be on my CV. So anyway, cracking straight on with our Inspiry Diary. Now, should we actually start with... Do you want to do the suggestions people have put forward for each section? Because are we going to solidify these by next week?
No, we're going to solidify them now.
Oh,
we're just going to decide on them now.
Really?
We can't keep putting polls out. We put polls out for the suggestions.
I love a poll.
Everyone's going to be like, do you want us just to do the podcast? Do you just want us to do it for
podcast.
You? Yes, yeah, but I think we need to start making some decisions, if I'm honest.
Okay. I feel like people have liked Inspiry Diary, haven't they?
No, they have. I think Inspiry Diary is the keeper.
It's here to stay.
And it's the one I was like, I'm not sure. Everyone else absolutely loves it. So,
well, what does that tell
Inspiry
you?
Diary.
Inspiry Diary it is.
Can I just interrupt this whole section? I just wanted to briefly mention that if you stick around to the end of this episode, we've got a special guest at the end talking about something very special. So I just wanted to drop that in.
Yeah, great.
I don't know why I'm keeping it a secret. It's Tilda. She's at the end talking about her new song. So if you want to hear about that, it's lovely to hear from her and what went into the songwriting process. So yeah, that's at the end of this episode, so stick around. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
So are we going straight into our Inspiry Diary and then are we talking about suggestions as we get to them? If Inspiry Diary is here to stay. Yeah, Inspiry
Diary is here to stay.
Okay.
Tick.
Go on then. What's in yours this week?
My Inspiry Diary is, so I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod before, but I do a lot for Sync and TV and I make music for TV and film projects and stuff. And got a little placement last week on an advert on an advert in the US, which was very lovely. And yeah,
do you want to just explain a little bit about Sync? I feel like
what do you mean?
Some people might have no idea what that means.
Well, it's basically what I just said. It's kind of like you make music that's more written and tailored towards being on adverts, video games, TV shows, underscoring, which is like just instrumental stuff. So I've just been making a ton of that. A guest that's coming on in the future, Black Prez, he does loads of it and he's kind of helped me kind of get into that part of the industry just because I hadn't really been involved in it before, and it's just something that really excited me. And yeah, I've been doing it for what do you think, about 6 months?
God, is it only 6 months?
So I've
Feels like
actually
you've doing it a
I
while.
think I only started working with libraries for about
Yeah, I
like
suppose
6
so.
months ago.
Yeah.
So I've just been churning out a load of that stuff, and because of the way royalties work, it takes so long to actually receive any sort
Mm-hmm.
of benefit from the work you do. So yeah, I feel like it's suddenly picking up, and
And
it's another business I started, so that's exciting.
And with keeping in mind about being completely honest on this podcast, you can cut this out if you don't want to talk about it. Do you want to explain how that came at a time where you were in a little bit of a lull, right?
I've spoken to many creatives this year that have said this year weirdly has just been a really slow year, like just up and down. Like there's work and then there's not, and everything dries up, and then all of a sudden you get like it's like waiting for a bus, and then 3 come at once. So it's just been a really unpredictable year and not really knowing where you stand. And for me, that means like I'll have like a period where there's just tons of people that need their song mixed or mastered or produced or whatever, and then there'll just be a bit of time when I'm just like, oh god, I'm not getting emails, like, and it'll only have been like a week and I won't be getting any emails, but it'll make me feel like maybe I should switch careers. And you start to really panic, and you're just like, I can't just have it so that I'm just not getting emails through. And then literally after we had that conversation, I got an email like straight after it, and I'm just not very patient. So if I've waited maybe 48 hours and there's no emails coming in for more work, I will instantly just go into like panic mode of like, nothing's happening. I need to like advertise. I need to do something. I need to change something. I need to, try and like put my CV out there more on LinkedIn or on Sound Better, where I post my job and my jobs. I need to just do something else to try and get more work coming in. And then sure enough, literally half an hour after I left the conversation with you, emails started coming in again. It's so weird.
It is, but it's funny how everything's kind of linking at the moment. Like we had Alto Key on last week, who explained how one of his most successful styles of videos on his TikTok, which is the Sing With Me ones, how the first one failed, the second one failed, third one failed, the 20th one like did okay, and then it was on a roll. It is so easy to hear that and kind of be like, oh yeah, that makes me feel better. But when you're the one in it and you have made, I mean, ballpark figure, how many of those sort of jingly type things
with one
have you made?
company I've now
jingles,
done.
Is it?
No, it's not jingle. It's I guess similar to jingle. It's like underscoring music. So but I've submitted loads of different stuff. So I've done probably about 25 underscore tracks for this company, and that's kind of like, it's called dramedy music. It's the stuff you hear on the Kardashians, like that plinky plonky, like funny but dramatic stuff, hence dramedy. And I've submitted loads of that stuff, so that's kind of just like out there doing its thing. And then me and Tilda, actually, who's on this episode, we worked on a few Christmas songs with my friend Matt as well, who's a very talented singer-songwriter. We had to make top 40 versions of like Christmas carols, which was just a ridiculous job.
Really fun to hear.
Just a ridiculous job to be
of
part of. So yeah, we did that. It's really random, the stuff they want.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just, it's a really different way of working for me, because I will usually work with an artist and we'll write something completely new and fresh and like just something that will just, I don't know how to explain it, just really original. Whereas this is kind of like you're tailoring it towards a specific purpose, trying to please a certain person.
Yeah.
It's a completely different way of working. But what was the question that you just said?
Did I ask you a question?
No, have I just been rambling?
No, it's great. I'm enjoying it. Someone sipping my coffee.
Did you ask what
listening
sync was?
Oh, that was about a year ago, Shaun.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, to cut a long story short.
No, I said about how it's funny how everything like links, and Alto Key saying what he said about, putting all these things out and it takes a while.
Yeah, so then you said, how many have you got with this company?
Yes, that was it. That was the question.
So yeah, I've got a lot.
Great.
And they're all
that
the
is
good
your
thing
brain,
is,
isn't it?
the best thing is about sync that's different to writing original music and releasing it as like an artist, is that when you've done the work on the sync music, you then give it to a publisher and they're then shopping your tracks out forever.
Yeah.
Prez will talk more about this when he's on, but he's had songs that have been placed that are like 6 years old.
Yeah.
So once you've done the work and it's out there, it's being pitched by these people, you can then kind of just sit back and relax. Well, make more music, but you can kind of just sit there and the work is done. The hard work is done. Whereas when you release original music, your work doesn't really start until the song is out there into the world, because you've got to spend all your time promoting it, which is what a lot of artists don't really understand. That it's kind of a marketing game.
My Inspiry Diary this week, I do feel like a lot of stuff at the moment is revolving around Tilda, but that again is the music industry. There is something to promote at the moment, and we're very heavily involved in that. So it has consumed a lot of our life, which I've absolutely loved. My Inspiry Diary entry is once again about her, but a moment that happened last week that I'm still just like buzzing from. It was the most heartwarming moment ever, and basically she's put this song out. I'm going to let her in the bonus part of this episode explain what it's about, but it's very, very raw, and it's a very, very vulnerable thing that she's done to release it. So it was released last Friday, but on last Wednesday we had our dance class that she is in, and it's a group of girls who have been at the school a long time, most of them, and it is the most supportive room I think I'm ever in. Like there is no judgment there. They are all, none of them, they're all friends. They've got their own friends, but they're all sort of on a level when they come in that room. They're purely there to dance. There is no drama or animosity or competition. They just love dance, which means I absolutely adore teaching them. So I messaged Tilda and I said, this is just an idea. I spoke to you about it. This is just an idea, but how would you feel about us playing the girls your song 2 days before the release?
So they're like the first people to hear it.
Exclusive, like listen party in a way. I had this gut feeling that it would be a very positive experience, and I really thought it was going to help her with those nerves of, oh my God, it's coming out in 2 days. So I messaged her, I said, absolutely no pressure, it's your song, it's just an idea. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So we did the whole hours class, and in the last 5 minutes I said to them, I was like, right, come and sit down. And Tilda sat up on the table, which even that in itself was like quite a big deal, that she subtly put herself up on a table in front of them. And I was so proud of her, because it just shows how much her confidence has grown. And I was like, well, most of you probably already know, but those who don't, Tilda's releasing her first original song on Friday. And they all clapped even at that. And I was like, how would you feel about being the first to hear it from start to finish exclusively before it goes out into the world? And they all were like, oh my God, like so honoured.
Yeah, they screamed.
Yeah, you were there. Mm-hmm. And we played the song in its entirety. You could have heard a pin drop. They all just went in on themselves, listened to every single word. Some of them teared up within like a couple of lines. And at the end, they just cheered, gave her the biggest hug. And I just had that moment of like, these are girls who are all of a similar age, who could so easily let jealousy get the better of them or judgment, and they just let Tilda have that moment that she deserved and rallied around her and gave the loveliest feedback. And it just, it's so special. I felt it's just like a dream world of like, oh my God, this is a thing. Like, kindness does exist. I just wish I wish the world was like that.
But it's how the class has developed, because it's probably the longest running class at the school.
One of
it was a class before it was even Rachael Reynolds School of Dance. Like some of the same girls have been there for years and years and years. So there was already a vibe in that class of friendship and inclusion. You know, and as new girls join, they just go with what everyone else is like. So they fit with the general. You know, if everyone's just being really kind to each other, who's going to just be the new girl that then ruins all that? It's just not going to happen.
But let's be honest, from an outsider point of view, if you looked at that situation on paper, like 20 odd teenage girls, all from different schools, all from different friendship groups. Some of them probably aren't joined at the hip because they're completely different people. That's absolutely fine. They're not all best mates in there. But the fact that, you know, if you read that on paper, you would definitely be like, I bet there was a couple giggling. I bet there was one sort of rolling their eyes. I bet there was one on their phone, like, I'm not listening to this. I bet there was one that, like, you know, just made it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it was just, I'm so glad that she got to have that moment. But I was so unbelievably proud of those girls just to see pure support.
Yeah. And we're not expecting everybody to love everything that everybody does. The thing that you have to be proud of in that class is that even if some people in that class didn't like it, I can imagine some of them that's just not their thing. Like, they might not have liked the
not their genre. Yeah.
So the good thing is, and where you have to be, you give them all sort of like credit. Oh my God. Where you have to give them all credit is that
leave that pause in.
where you have to give them all credit is that they didn't feel the need to share any opinions. They were just like, if it's not my thing, fine, but this is amazing for Tilda, and this is a huge deal for her. Yeah. Which is what I love. Because
Totally.
you can never please everybody.
And that could have happened in any class. So that's not me saying, oh my God, this class is the only one we could have done that in. I'm sure if...
No, but it's the only class that it has happened in.
Exactly. So... And like, I'd have no plans to ever close the school. So I'd like to think there's more students that will be releasing original music one day, or have other projects, or have things that we can rally around and be much more than just dance classes, but a family. We constantly say the Rachael Reynolds family, like, and that's exactly what that felt like that day. It was the best. Yeah. That's my Inspire Diary.
It was a very, very special moment.
It was.
Moving on to the one that you hated. Rach didn't approve of question cream.
And let's be honest,
I was happy with it.
A lot of people have made suggestions for this one.
Care.
So what does that... There's no way we're keeping
it. It's my podcast.
Right, read out some suggestions.
Just to humour everybody, I'll read out the suggestions, but we're calling it question cream.
No, we're absolutely... No, we're not. No, we're not.
Okay, so the first suggestion came from Jodie and Claire, actually, had the same suggestion. And that's
way.
What's the Scoop?
What's the scoop? I love it. I love it. Next.
Okay. The next one. Claire also had 3 further options.
Go on.
Oh, no. 2 further options.
Yeah.
The Big Scoop.
Yeah.
Another news-related pun there.
For what's the scoop?
The scoop, the whole scoop, and nothing but the scoop.
Bit wordy, but it's very good, yeah.
Laura said cream of the crop.
Ooh, cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Still prefer what's the scoop. That's winning for me at the moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kate said icebreakers.
Very good. But are we you and me aren't really breaking we probably know each other's aren't. Actually, no, maybe
I was going to say we probably know each other. I'd say so after 15 years.
Yeah.
Lauren said either the curious cone or the wandering whippy.
What Lauren is this? Theria.
Of course it is. The wandering whippy.
The wandering whippy. Okay.
Mia, the nosy cone.
Brilliant.
I like that. He's bloody nosy, to be honest. And Will said the curiosity cone, creamy question cup, the cone of curiosities, creamy conundrum, and the cone of contemplation.
I'll be honest, and I'm very, very indecisive as a person. There is a clear winner for me.
What's the scoop?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I love it. Also...
Annoying that it's not a scoop and it is a whippy.
Oh, are we really going to be that picky?
I am.
What, do you have another favourite?
Question cream.
Right, it's not even on the table. So out of the new no, there's no way we're calling it that.
It's question cream.
What's your favourite out of all the suggestions?
It's what's the scoop.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great!
All right, well done, Jodie and Claire.
Well done, Jodie and Claire.
I mean, to be fair, purely on voting, they've outvoted everybody else.
But thank you, everyone else, for your suggestions. They were all better than question cream. So
that is up for debate. Well, now we've named it, should we actually do What's the Scoop?
I did the last one. Go on.
Okay, here is your creamy conundrum.
Right.
Okay, here is the big scoop question.
No, just read it. Here's the question.
Here's the question. The question cream. Name Name one business idea you've had that either failed or you never pursued. What a good question.
I know.
What a good question.
Oh, I need some time to think. We need
You wrote the question.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I had an answer.
Oh.
To be fair, I've started. I have always got a good business idea, I think.
I think I do.
What, that failed?
No, that I probably didn't ever. There's loads that I thought of and didn't ever go through with.
Same.
This is a really ridiculous business idea that I had.
Go on.
That I never attempted or would attempt, I don't think. But at the flat, I got really into like smart home stuff, like smart home tech, and just loved like rigging up like Apple HomeKit or Google Home or whatever. And I remember it just went down this rabbit hole of like, I want to add this, this and this. So I was going to actually set up a business where I would go around to someone's house. Do you remember?
I remember this.
And consult them on what they wanted, what lighting they wanted in every room, maybe give them an idea of what they could have, set it up with a thermostat, set it up with all the smart home bits and bobs, and maybe the business would have like sponsorship links with Amazon, so you'd use just Amazon products, or Apple, or you'd just use Apple products. And that was kind of going to be something I was like, that is such a good idea. Because there's loads of like electrical companies and loads of stuff like that, but I don't know if there are many just specifically smart home companies where it's like a consultation business for people that are just like, I want smart stuff in my home, but I don't know what Wi-Fi routers to have, I don't know what stuff to start with, what products are good, and that was going to be something that I wanted to get into.
I still think you'd love that.
I would, yeah, but I just wouldn't like, that's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
I do get quite nerdy about that sort of stuff, but it's a full-time job. If I had some young lads that really wanted to get into that stuff, it's definitely a fun business that I would love to get into, because I just love all that tech stuff anyway.
It's so hard though, because if time is always the thing that's so difficult to navigate, because I would do so many other things. I always have little ideas that I'm like, oh, that would be wicked if we did this. Or
well, think about it though. You've got the dance school, the agency. We're just about to launch another sideline.
Yeah.
We're also about to launch another sideline.
We've got this podcast.
We've got the podcast.
This isn't a business.
The podcast isn't really a business. This is purely passion project, just because we think it could help people. But it could turn into a business. So there's every reason why it could be a business. And then I've got my normal production work. I've got my own sync company and label. So yeah, I think we've got enough.
A couple of people have actually said to me this week, random, not even related to each other, but have been like, I think you two have enough on.
Yeah.
But I'm always open to new ideas.
But the good thing is though, we only take on stuff that is pretty well connected to what we already do. That's
the difference now. Back before I had the school, like I was part of a business partnership that now looking back, I think I've said multiple times now, one day I'll get into it. I'm just a little bit worried about how much
slander.
I can say. Yeah,
I don't think we can, but it's yeah.
But I can say, without like naming names or anything, I can say that it was probably the biggest offer in my career before I had the dance school, where basically it was very money driven. I felt, I don't mind saying that, where I actually think for the first time ever I saw the pound signs before I actually thought about what that business would how it would benefit people. And ultimately I think it was sold as something that would really, really help people. Personally, now looking back, I think it was all a money maker, which is so not what I'm about.
Yeah, and this person was basically in sort of like dangling a carrot in front of your face, so like building you up and bigging you up, and then in the next breath basically tearing you down.
Oh my God,
Tilda actually said something in this next section, which is pretty much exactly the same metaphor.
I have never felt so intimidated,
but then some occasions, like really like supported. Like it's like
the person who I was in a partnership with is somebody I still, even I reckon if I met them now, I will never understand people like that, because it was never, I don't think I could have ever been on a level playing field or felt like I really mattered in that partnership. Yeah. So, but genuinely, and I've said this before, that has taught me so much.
Yeah, this probably come up many times in the podcast, but the people that you have the worst times with teach you so much positive stuff.
Yeah.
Because you learn what not to be like.
That person taught me everything about how I didn't want to ever run my business.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you now, though, they earn probably tenfold what I ever will. And that's absolutely fine, because I would never want it. I would never want to make people feel how they made me feel.
Yeah. But it's why that experience gave you such a focused ethos for the school.
Yeah. And by the way, that in answer to the question, I went into a business partnership, and that business, as far as I know, completely failed.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have done if they'd got the right person who was willing to do it the way they wanted to do it, because actually it was a great idea if it wasn't money driven, personally, I think. But that massively failed, and that biggest failure in my career is the best thing that ever happened to me. So I guess that's why I wrote the question, really, because so many people who, whether you want to you like making coasters. I just looked at a coaster. So maybe you like making coasters and you just want to set up a little Etsy shop. If you enjoy making those coasters, and it might mean that you make a little bit of money, just do it. Just do it.
Yep.
It will fulfill you. It will make you feel you're doing something. And then also, even if that does fail, that may lead you onto something else. Like, I just think it's so important to, if you have a business idea, or whether it's huge or tiny, it's very, very easy to go, give me that 5-year plan. How's that gonna make you money? How's that ever gonna support you? Blah, blah, blah. You'll never do it, because so many will have to fail before you find one that sticks.
Sometimes you have to just take the leap of faith and just do it. If you're passionate about it in that moment, just grab the domain name, set it up, and just see what happens.
Don't be too precious that it could fail. Like, you might just learn the best thing ever by it failing.
Yep. And with that being said, this question will be added to our story posts today, so you can reply and let us know if there are any businesses that you've always wanted to try. And
please email us. Like, that one's more story driven. People must have some stories about business ideas.
Yeah, businesses that maybe you did start a business and it never got off the ground for whatever reason, or maybe you've always had this idea that you want to start, and maybe this is the moment.
Yeah.
The next section is going off of what the first episode said, is called Right Back At Ya, where we ask you the question that we ask ourselves in the episode, and then we read out your responses. I'm not sure how this is going to work, because everyone is very kind.
This is going to be very short, because 2 weeks ago, our last episode, the question from What's the Scoop was, who inspires you?
Yes.
It's a very short question. It was one of yours, wasn't it? And everyone who did reply was very, very,
lovely.
very lovely. And a lot of them, I don't even want to say it.
No, it's cringe, isn't it?
It's so cringy. But a few said you and me.
Yeah, but
which
I mean,
is
what
nice.
can we expect when most of our listeners currently come from the dance school?
Yeah.
So.
And also, can I just say, and people aren't going to believe me, I genuinely didn't once think that anyone would write you and me. Otherwise, imagine you and me, like, off air being like, that's a wicked one, because everyone's going to say you and me. It's so, everyone who said that, we read them all, and I know you all.
Yeah,
and
we won't out you.
Very sweet.
What I will say, though,
there was a couple that didn't say us.
Somebody, I won't name her, said her mum.
That's so lovely.
I'll mention this one. Che said Robin Williams, which I completely agree with.
Legend.
My absolute
Robin
childhood
Williams
hero.
Or Robbie Williams?
Robin Williams.
I'm surprised. I actually thought he would say Robbie Williams, because he loves a Robbie Williams.
He loves a bit of Robbie, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Let me.
That's his tune.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Robin Williams, I completely agree with.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some. They can't say us for the next one. Do you have any business ideas? Yeah, Shaun and Rach.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, everyone. That's very, very sweet.
Yeah. So we will read out your responses to the next question in 2 weeks' time. So that leads us on to Take This With You, which is a little section we like to give you a bit of motivational, inspirational stuff.
Oomph.
Bit of oomph in your trumph. So I wanted to, for anyone out there, and this really ties in well with the question that was in this episode of like any businesses you never started or that you wanted to start. There is a list I found of famous actors, celebrities, whatever, that got their big break later in life, which is very inspiring for anybody that has got this business idea or wants to pursue a certain different career path at any point in your life. I thought this list was very interesting. So, for example, we have Steve Carell.
Yes.
Was 43 when he made his debut in The Office.
Okay.
And then he was in The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Crazy Stupid Love. All of his
huge.
big movies came after he was 43 years old.
43, yeah.
Melissa McCarthy got her big break at 41. Samuel L. Jackson got his big break in Pulp Fiction, one of the biggest films, well, his biggest film and his breakthrough appearance, at 45 years old. Then we have Harrison Ford was 35, where he was in Star Wars at 35 years old. Before that, he was a carpenter. And the only reason he got cast, he was a carpenter on the stage where George Lucas was auditioning actors for the roles.
Oh my God.
How mad's that?
That is.
Right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Another interesting one, Bryan Cranston.
Oh, one of
your favourites, yeah.
Breaking
Walter
Bad.
White in Breaking Bad, and also the dad in Malcolm in the Middle. And in Malcolm in the Middle, he was 44 years old.
And was that his first role?
First breakthrough role, yeah. Dame Helen Mirren
Yeah.
was 56
Stop it.
when she got her breakthrough role.
Are you sure?
Oh, no. Helen Mirren was a theatre actress
Yeah.
for many, many years, and then got her breakthrough movie
Yeah.
career in her 50s.
What was it?
Gosford Park and Calendar Girls,
Yeah. Calendar Girls. That was one of her first.
apparently. I mean, this is on Men's Health. I don't know if the writer's done much research, but it's very interesting.
Oh, we'll go with it. It's inspiring.
Alan Rickman,
Yeah. Oh, R.I.P.
his breakthrough role in Die Hard
Yeah.
was at 42 years old.
This is actually wild because you kind of, these huge names, you just kind of think they've been around forever. And then when you think about it, yeah.
Yep, Bradley Cooper, breakthrough role in The Hangover at 36.
Yeah.
This is a big one. Judi Dench,
Yeah.
who had a successful career as an actress, but didn't get any notable interest from Hollywood until she was 61 years old when she played M in the GoldenEye movie in James Bond.
Wow.
Ricky Gervais
Yeah. Love
was
him.
in The Office at 40. Patrick Stewart, breakthrough role in Star Trek when he was 47. Tommy Lee Jones, 47.
How many more of these
Kim
are there?
Cattrall, 42. Gene Hackman, 37.
It's. I get it. It's amazing.
Morgan Freeman, 50.
How many?
The good thing is about that, I could go on and on.
You could.
There are.
You did.
So it just goes to show with all those famous people that you can really. Your big break can come at any point as long as you keep going, you keep your mind to it. It can happen whenever, at any age.
And those business ideas, like, doesn't matter what age you are, maybe give one a go.
Give one a go. If you want to start a cat sanctuary, go on then.
Exactly.
If you want to start making clay figurines, go on then.
Sean's lost the plot now, so I'm going to do the outro.
It's been a very long
Please
weekend.
remember, at the end of this outro, there is a very special bonus bit that is definitely worth a listen.
This is a new section. Bonus bits.
Bonus bit. It won't be on every single episode, but anyone who has heard Tilda's song, this will just explain so much more about it and why she did it, and it's just brilliant. And she spoke so well, and there's some very funny bits in it too, so definitely stick around for that. But for now, that is it for another episode. Thank you so much for joining us, thank you for listening, and thank you for watching if you are on YouTube and Spotify.
Well done, Rachel. Well done, Rachel.
Until next week, don't forget to follow all of our social media channels on,
At What Was I Made For Pod.
and really important this week, send us an email too.
Yeah, but please send us emails.
I really want an email.
What was I made for pod@gmail.com is the email. Please just send us some emails. It's very quiet over there.
Maybe the best email could get a free mug. I can't do that, can I? Can I do that?
You just
did it.
The best email's getting a free mug every week.
No, Jesus Christ, I'm not made of money.
This week only. It's a Rachel special. The best email this week.
No, maybe for the season. Top 3 emails of the season.
So if I've got to wait till Christmas to get their bloody mug.
I'm going to be honest, guys. 3 of you just need to email, and there's your 3 mugs because it is dry.
Don't call
the
them that.
inbox is dry. So yeah, please do send us an email too. Did you do that?
What was I made for pod@gmail.com?
Excellent. We will see you again next week when we once again try to answer the question.
What was I made for? Here we go. Tilda, take us out. Tilda, welcome back.
Thanks, guys.
To the podcast.
I haven't actually been on with Rach yet.
No.
Oh yeah.
Luce was the host.
Yeah,
last
she
one.
was, and you are the first person to ever be on this twice, I think.
Yeah.
It's a privilege.
And in the actual What Was I Made For studio this time.
I know.
Instead of the makeshift hot box that
Things are looking good for you, mate.
They're looking bright.
So the reason you're on is because I wanted you to talk about this new song that you've got out.
Yeah.
Happy with it?
I am so happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really am.
It's had a really good response, hasn't it?
It has. So many people have been. It's gotten a way more better response than I Can't Make You Love Me did.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's an original.
Yeah.
And like it made me so happy that all the people that came was like, I really felt that. I remember Kitty texted me, and when she said that song was really got me, and it actually just makes me so happy.
Oh, did she?
It made me really, really
nice.
happy.
It's because it means a lot to you. The message in the song. It must be so nice that it could potentially help so many other people of your age. Well, not even just your age, like everybody who's gone through something similar. That must be a really nice feeling, because I Can't Make You Love Me it's a great recording. Like, you sound amazing on it, and it's a really good song, but it's not yours.
Exactly.
Do you think many people were expecting that genre?
I don't think they would have thought I was going to write it about that specific subject, but I have a feeling they thought I was going to write it like a love song or something. I don't know why. Really? I think it's probably because of I Can't Make You Love Me, even though when they actually eventually found out that it was a cover, I think they might have thought I was going to actually write one this time. But if anyone's writing a love song at the age of 15, that would have been a bit like...
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it wouldn't have hit as hard, because I think anyone listening to it, and by looking at the shares that people have done and the comments, I think that's what hit everyone. Is even if nobody knew why you've written the song, listening to someone of your age speak those or sing those lyrics rather, I think that's what kind of shocked them in a good way. Yeah, because it's so raw. And like you said, I know a lot of people your age would relate to it, but actually I listened to it for the first time on my own on the way to work on Wednesday, because I knew we were playing it to the Wednesday Diamonds, and I was like, I'll just check it's all working. And it was the first time I'd listened to it on my own, and I welled up so much, because like, you're listening to it as your story, but actually anyone can relate to it.
Exactly.
Every single person will have had someone that's made them feel this big at some point, and the lyrics work for that.
Did you find it like therapeutic in a way?
I think it definitely was therapeutic, because hearing those words, it's almost like I'm in the situation again. It's almost like I'm feeling how I felt. It's almost like I'm reliving it, but in a way where I'm looking back at it, thinking, look how far I've come.
Well, that's kind of the good and the bad thing about going. Well, I guess it is a good thing. Like, you have to go through something really, really bad to be able to create something so great.
Exactly.
Like, if you hadn't been through this, you would have still always had the voice you've got. But if you hadn't have been through something that had like tested you and really put you through the ringer, you wouldn't have had something to use that voice for.
Situations like this, they're good, but they're not obviously amazing. But they're good because they give you. It's almost like they're giving you more fuel for the good stuff. It's almost like let's say you're in a car. It's almost like they're pushing the car to help you through, but pushing the car while smashing your windows.
Love that.
That's brilliant.
But I remember, I want to go back. I wanted to take you back to when I first said I think we should do an original song.
Yeah.
Because I think we both loved putting the cover out. And it did get a good response, but it was a cover.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to get you on an original song. And I remember, because we'd obviously had loads of chats about what you've been through and your story and all of that. So when I brought Matt into the mix, who is a very talented songwriter, who sort of gave us that original idea for a song.
Yeah.
And I remember playing it to you for the first time, and I don't know, what was that like for you?
I remember it was when I was on work experience and I arrived and you said I've got a basic idea for it. And so I was like, okay, that's cool. So we went into the little hairdresser room, and when you started playing it, when I heard the first chord of the guitar, because I obviously gave you Funeral by Phoebe Bridgers and how I wanted it to sound like. And I was just like, this is going to be the one. And then when I heard a few of the words, I just started bawling because it says so much in such small words.
I think it tells the story in such a beautiful way.
It does. It really does. Such a sad story, but in such a beautiful way.
Yeah, exactly.
And very brave as well, because we talk all the time on this podcast about people of your age not wanting to put themselves out on social media because it can be a very, very dark place for, while you're at school and things like that. What would your advice be if they're like, the reason I'm not doing it is I know I'm going to get some hate comments?
I would 100% tell them to do it, because that's exactly how I felt. But once you actually do it, you do realise that you get the amount of good comments you get weighs out the bad comments. And you're going to get bad comments no matter what you do. There's always going to be that someone or people that are going to try and knock you down from it. But once you've gotten through them, you'll feel so good with yourself that you've managed to do what you want to do without being knocked down fully.
But you have changed a lot over the last 6 months, I'd say.
I think I definitely
From the first time you came into this studio, you were like, you basically just stood in that vocal booth, you just did what you were told and was sort of like, yep, yeah, I'll sing that now. And it was great. But now you seem to have warmed up to it. You're so much more comfortable in here. Like, how do you think, what's happened in those 6 months?
I think, if I'm honest, I've grown the confidence, because I know that when I'm here, it's almost like I'm in my own world, because I'm just with the people that accept me and believe in me. So there's really nothing to be ashamed of. So that's just why I've probably grown so much confidence. It obviously took some time, but I've definitely warmed up a lot more.
But that shows you, though, that being around the right people that are going to support you and just build you up is so important.
When people say words, whether it's positive or negative, I don't think when they say it, they realise how much of an impact it can make. Whether you literally you just hear someone, they're just like singing in the shower and they come out and they go, oh, that was really good. Those 3 words or 4, I don't know.
They carry a lot of weight.
They do.
Yeah.
They could make so much of an impact. Mm-hmm. It's just, or even just a negative comment, say, oh, that wasn't good. That could stick in someone's mind for the rest of their life.
Does it stick in your mind?
Yeah. I beat myself up all the time.
Yeah.
And whenever I do something that is slightly off, I'll think about it for the next 2 days. And I'll think, how do I do that differently? Why didn't I do that differently? And I'm glad that I now have the confidence to go, no, that was awful. So I say that because I don't want you to be thinking inside, that was really bad. So I just point it out so you can go, yeah, that was bad.
No, but you're really good now.
When
I first worked with you, I had to kind of be the one to be like, right, let's do that one more time, and then just hope that you weren't offended by that. But now, yeah, you're right. Your confidence has grown to a level now where you'll just be like, do it again. Record it again.
Awful.
Yeah, awful. Let's go again. Which I love. It's how it should be. You should know your own voice, and I think you do now. Or you released so much better than you used to be.
Yeah, and it's your work at the end of the day, so it's up to
it's whether I think it's good or not.
100%. Yeah.
If you think it's good, tell me. If you think it's bad, I don't really care. Don't tell me, because I like it. Why does it matter if you don't like it? If you don't like it, don't listen to it.
Yeah.
So what do you think is next? That might be quite a big question.
We were actually talking about this in the car.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Tell me.
We said we want to do something Christmassy.
Yeah, we want to do a Christmas, probably a cover song.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't write an original Christmas song.
Yeah,
right
no, I don't really experience anything at Christmas yet.
Sad Christmas song. And then
I remember him crying at Christmas.
Yeah. I think this one's gone so well. People have seemed like they've jumped on it and think it's really good. So I don't see why we wouldn't move on to the next thing.
Me neither.
For anybody who has somehow managed to be living under a rock and has missed the drop of this single, who might
under
just
a stick or a stone,
who knows? First of all, can we please have the name of the song, and also where can everyone follow you? Because I think this is a very exciting part of your journey, and I think people should get in there at the beginning of it.
Well, the song is called Sticks and Stones, and it is pretty much available on all streaming platforms.
Everywhere.
So whether you're an Amazon Music gal, a Spotify gal, an Apple Music man.
If you're a Deezer geezer.
If you're a Deezer geezer.
And what can they expect from hearing this song?
It can be relatable, but if it doesn't relate to you, then it's a good get to know me song.
Thanks, Tilda.
Thank you guys for having me.
Been great.
It has been.
Is it right if we play out with your song?
I don't mind, yeah, you can do that.
Great, thanks.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words get under my skin. While I'm descending, I'll keep pretending I'm fine, but I'm spiraling. No, I won't wave the wall.